Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be cooking up one of our delicious family staple recipes. And if you like to cook or watch, stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. And today I'm going to be cooking up something that I've loved as a little girl all the way to adulthood in my own family. I'm making baked pork chops, potatoes, and green beans. And of course, you can't forget the cornbread. I remember as a little girl snapping green beans in my grandma's kitchen, and back then in the South, it was just something we did. Everybody gardened. And of course, today I'll be using frozen green beans, but fresh green beans are always best. And I have these little tiny potatoes. I love the tiny potatoes because they cook really fast. And last but not least, I have the family pack of pork chops from Walmart. So what I'm doing right now is getting some pans, getting some bowls together. I have my cookware from Amazon. If you like the link, I will link it in the description box. Although I'm not crazy about it, it gets the job done. I am just prepping the meat for seasoning, and I'm washing the pork chops off and arranging them. I know some people say they don't wash their meat because it gets decontaminated by the high temperature in the oven, but I've always washed my meat. What about you guys? Do you wash your meat before you cook it? The seasonings I use for my pork chops are salt, regular table salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, parsley, basil. I use a little bit of Old Bay sometimes, because you can put that on everything. If you know, you know. And I use some Italian seasonings. All of my seasonings are either from my Amazon spice rack or from Walmart. I'm a Walmart girl, not ashamed to admit it. So now I'm just flipping them over and repeating the process. I'm a bona fide lefty, as you can see. How many of my followers are lefties? This is an important step. Covering your pork chops and creating that seal to lock in the moisture is important because pork chops don't take very long to cook in the oven and they can dry out very easily. So once you have that sealed in, then you want to just add a tiny bit of water on the outside of the foil. You can do that. So here I'm just prepping the green beans. I am putting them in less than a quarter cup of water and seasoning them in this small saucepan. One thing I wish I had done differently was instead of using water, using chicken stock, which you'll see coming up here shortly. That's one of the most important parts of this process is the chicken stock, but I added it in a little bit later. Now I'm getting ready to boil my potatoes. I boil them until they're soft enough for the fork to pierce through. Adding a pinch of salt to the boiling potatoes to help them boil faster. And seasoning my green beans. One of the things that prompted me to record this, aside from my love of cooking, is I wanted to show 30-minute meal preps for busy moms and busy folks such as myself who may have children and may have employment and don't have a lot of time to cook, to just show that it's really quite easy to get meals on the table in 30 minutes if you want to. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to show here and just wanted to help just get some time back in your pocket doing something other than being in the kitchen. And we clean as we cook so there's not a huge pile of dishes at the end of your meal preparation. And here we have the Jiffy Mix cornbread in the honey flavor, and it is very delicious. One of the reasons why I love using Jiffy is because it's one of those no-brainers. You can usually never get it wrong, and you can usually just eyeball the measurements as far as the milk. And I also add just a tiny bit of olive oil to help the muffins not to stick. But yeah, Jiffy is always right on time for my family. We love Jiffy. So now that I have our potatoes cooking, our green beans cooking, and our cornbread prepared to go into the oven, I can now put our pork chops in because they're going to take about the least amount of time other than the cornbread, which is the shortest. So it's been about 15 minutes or so. I'm going to now check on the pork chops. What I am going to do is move them to the upper rack, and first I need to check and make sure that they're good as far as water level and moisture, because I want my pork chops to come out tender and juicy, and they look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and move those up to the top rack for another 10 minutes and put my cornbread in. Because again, the cornbread takes the least amount of time. And I'm now going to check on my potatoes. Just do the fork test to see if they are soft. And they are. They broke right apart. So now I'm going to drain them. And it looks like the green beans are ready as well. So I will go ahead and add my potatoes to the stock pot with the green beans in them. And I'm draining all the water off of the potatoes so that I can replace it with chicken broth. And I'm thinking of doing a pantry clean out, and I'm also thinking of doing a refrigerator and cupboard clean out. Would you guys be interested in seeing that video? Please comment if you would. And here I am just pumping away for the little one while I wait for the food to be done. He's at the point now where he likes to be rocked, so my husband and I are thinking about going ahead and getting him a swing, because foot rocking is fun until you have to get up and actually do something, and then he, of course, is going to holler. So breastfeeding is just one of those things I do not enjoy. I do not enjoy pumping. I do not enjoy breastfeeding. I'm probably in the minority here, but I'm doing it for the baby's sake. So taking one for the team, ladies. Taking one for the team. the green beans and potatoes are looking pretty good. I'm going to add a little bit more garlic powder and onion powder, a little bit more seasoning, just because the potatoes boiled with nothing but water, so they may taste a little bland, and they actually need a little bit more seasoning. So just going to add that in right now. Pork chops are ready to come out, so I'm going to go ahead and take those out and move the cornbread to the upper rack so that they can cook a little bit longer on top. And as you can see, the pork chops are nice and juicy, ready to serve. They're not dry in the least, and that's 25 minutes at 350 in the oven. And the potatoes and green beans are ready as well to be served nice and cooked to perfection. Let's check on our cornbread. Now, how can you tell if your cornbread muffins are ready? Usually people will use a toothpick, a wooden toothpick, straight down the middle of the cornbread. But your girl ain't got no toothpicks. So I'm going to use something I do have. I'm going to use my fork. So if the fork comes out clean with no cornbread on it, then the muffins are ready. If it has a little bit of inside cornbread muffin mix on it, then they have to go back in. And these had a little bit of muffin mix on the fork, so I'm going to put them back in. Even though the oven is turned off, I'm going to put them back in for a few minutes. About 5 or 6 minutes, no longer than that. And voila, perfection. And here we have a meal in 30, pork chops, green beans and potatoes, and cornbread muffins. I hope you enjoyed watching this meal be prepared, and I hope it inspires you to cook your next 30-minute meal. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment if you like. Until the next time. Oh, and today marks my 2-year wedding anniversary.
Baby, it's the me for me. It's the me for me. I don't care about opinions, just my inner peace. I'm healed. I'm healed.